Good morning. This is Rachel Donovan sitting in with Giovanni Gallucci and Chloe Dawn, and this is the Daily Trend Report.
Morning, Rachel.
Morning. Got back from a hill country run yesterday. Pavement was already warm at 6 in the morning. Summer's here.
Today, the Overland Gear Floor at Expo West, prebiotic soda hitting saturation, and what LinkedIn just did to your content calendar.
Walking the floor at Overland Expo West in Flagstaff a couple weeks back, the rigs that drew crowds weren't pickups anymore. They were Class B plus boxes, Sprinter vans, Ford E350s, reinforced subframes, composite box bodies, Geotrek, Modbox, Field Van. Modbox started at $98,000 and there was a line.
Bigger than a Sprinter, smaller than an RV.
Right. And it's pulling buyers from both sides. The pickup overland guys who hit their wallet limit at $25,000 in build out and decided to skip a step. The Class A RV folks who got tired of needing a campground reservation and a paved pad.
So who loses?
The aftermarket that tooled itself entirely around pickup beds, drawer systems sized for a Tacoma, rooftop tent rails spec'd for a 4Runner. That whole catalog was built on a buyer who is now buying a box on top of a van.
And the dimensions don't translate. A drawer set built for a 5-foot bed doesn't drop into a Modbox interior. The fasteners are different. The floor plan is different. The headroom is different.
What's the operator move?
If you make storage or accessory kits, you're rebuilding the catalog. The good news, the buyer who walks into the Modbox tent has spent more money and is harder to lose. Higher margin, fewer SKUs, longer dwell time per customer.
That sounds slower to scale.
It is, but you're not racing PepsiCo for shelf space either. Whoever tools first for B-plus dimensions writes the spec sheet everybody else copies in 2027.
So this is mostly bad news for the pickup aftermarket.
Mostly. The pickup buyer is still real and still spending, but the top of that pyramid, the customer who used to drop $20,000 on a Tacoma build, is the one defecting to a factory box. Highest lifetime value, voting with their checkbook.
Okay, 3 takeaways before we move on. 1. If your gear is sized for a pickup bed, mock up the same system for a Sprinter box and an E350 box this quarter. Don't wait for the order to come in.
2. Walk the next Overland show with a tape measure. The floor plan dimensions on a Modbox or a Geotrek box are not on any spec sheet you can find online. Go take them.
3. Field Van and Geotrek will both private label storage for the right partner. Show up to Overland Expo East in October with a sample kit and a contract draft.
PepsiCo paid $1.95 billion for Poppy. Coca-Cola launched Simply Pop. The prebiotic soda category just stopped being a category and started being a war.
$2 billion in projected revenue by 2029.
By Coke's own math, prebiotic claims hit 2.9% of every new U.S. beverage launch in 2025. That's up 400% since 2021. The shelf is saturated.
So an indie operator with a fermented soda or a tepache or a craft probiotic line, what's the move?
You can't outshelf Coca-Cola. You can't out-distribute PepsiCo. So you go where they won't bother for 2 more years. Tepache. Kombucha that actually tastes like kombucha. Heritage strain fermented sodas. Mushroom-forward drinks that aren't trying to be a soda.
Single ingredient as the hero.
Right. Coke is going to run a stack of 3 prebiotic fibers and call it functional. The indie play is 1 ingredient, named, sourced, photographed at the farm. The buyer who picks Poppy off the shelf wants the marketing. The buyer who picks your can wants the receipts.
Where does Coke not show up?
Anywhere the unit economics don't work at scale. Anything that needs cold chain. Anything where the ingredient supply caps out below 10 million units a year. Anything weird enough that the brand team can't run it through a focus group.
That's a moat.
For about 18 months. Then someone in Atlanta gets bored.
What about the Olipop loyalist? Up for grabs.
Some of them. The buyer who picked Olipop because the can looked good is standing in front of Simply Pop that also looks good and costs $1 less. That buyer was never yours. The one who picked Olipop because they read every line on the back is the one you can win, with a label that respects how much they already know.
And the ceiling.
Regional. The indie play in 2026 is regional distribution at higher margin. Co-ops, natural grocers, the upscale local market 2 states over. Forget national chains for 2 more years. 3 things you can actually do today. 1. Audit your label. If your fiber source isn't named, name it. Chicory root, agave inulin, acacia, jicama. The category leader is hiding behind prebiotic blend. That's the gap.
2. Pick the cooperative or the farm and photograph it this month, not the product, the supply chain. The buyer who reads labels will read your post.
3. Put a tepache or a heritage strain SKU on the roadmap before September. The window where Coke and Pepsi aren't in that lane closes inside a year. LinkedIn just told you something important, and most brand teams are reading it wrong. The platform is weighting vertical video higher in the feed, knocking off platform links down by 30%, and surfacing personal profiles ahead of company pages. 60% of B2B buyers now discover brands through a named human's content before they ever hit a contact form.
So the company page is dead.
The company page is the Wikipedia entry. It's where the buyer confirms you exist after they found you through somebody real.
What's the trap?
The trap is treating this like a content problem. It isn't. It's an org chart problem. Most companies are set up so every social post runs through 3 approvers, an in-house lawyer, and a brand voice gatekeeper. By the time the post ships, the original idea is sanded down to something nobody would say out loud, and the algorithm punishes that exact tone.
So you need named people posting in their own voice.
3 to 5 of them, not the CEO. The senior account manager who's worked with 20 clients in your category. The product lead who's been shipping the same thing for 6 years. People with real authority on the subject who are allowed to be a little bored with the corporate line.
And they need permission.
That's the actual decision. Permission to have a public opinion. The brands winning right now picked 4 employees, ran a half-day workshop on platform mechanics, got out of their way, and are doing 10 to 15 times the company page reach.
Ghostwriting doesn't work.
The comments tell you it doesn't work. Ghost-written thought leadership reads as ghost-written thought leadership, and the algorithm has learned to spot it. Here's what to actually do with all that. 1. Stop ghostwriting executive LinkedIn posts. If the executive won't write them, they don't ship. The post is a tax on the algorithm at that point.
2. Pick 3 employees who aren't the CEO. Subject matter expertise beats title. Give them an hour a week to ship vertical video with captions baked in.
3. Move the link out of the post body. Drop it in the first comment or write a caption that doesn't need the link at all. The 30% penalty is real.
Gallucci Net runs weekly deep dive podcasts for outdoor lifestyle brands, clean label food and beverage operators, and content teams. 2 hosts in your category, the trend reports your team doesn't have time to read, 15 minutes a week. If you want one built for your brand, I can show you the pipeline that produced this episode. Gallucci.net or DM at GallucciNet on Instagram or LinkedIn. Talk tomorrow.